All right, guys. So few stuff I like to talk about today that is going to form a basics to how we're going to be progressing next. And part of the perks of being part of the live call is I get to tell you some internal stuff that we're doing in Tafabot HQ. So you get to hear them first before other Tafabot users. Before we jump into the market, I'm going to share a few of those and then we're going to proceed. Once again, the chat room is open. You want to send in your thoughts, your feedback, testimonials. Also, we want to hear from you how your trade is doing and how we can improve it. It's important to make clear that this setup, if you're joining for the first time, is for traders who want to take their own profit level, their own profit to a totally different level. This requires some level of technicalities in updating the bot, in going through what we do. If you don't want to do that, you want to subscribe to other bots like the Neuronet that does super amazing. You don't need to lift a finger, just set up your bots, let it run. End of the month, it's going to be producing between 10 to 30% profit. But if you want to go beyond that, you want to be doing the 30% profit maybe in a week, in a day, depending on how the market goes, then this setup, live setup, is for you. Now, we want to move the setup to something really better and beneficial to Tafabot users. So I'm just going to show you a few stuff that you should be expecting if you are a Tafabot leader or trader, or you own your community that you're also driving Tafabot on. So few stuff I'm going to show you that we're going to be bringing on board to help you use Tafabot better and also maximize the effect of what we do on the live setup. Number one is if you already own a mirror bot, which means that people are able to copy your own Tafabots, and you could decide to charge them a fee for what they're copying, which gets paid to you automatically when they make profit. Now, we are improving that already, and you're going to be seeing that in the latest Tafabot app that is going to be coming up. Now, what we're doing is, part of the things we've noticed that is a difficulty for people who create mirror to be able to manage mirror and manage for the users who are copying them. Number one is about the trade capital. Now, as it's now, if you open your Tafabot app, I'm trying to really get on that, but because I try to do that on PC, it's quite lagging. So if you go to your Tafabot app, the current Tafabot app, and you do have a mirror, one of the things you notice or you know is that your mirror requires for you to set up the bot for a particular amount or a particular capital, to say, okay, if you want to copy my bot, this is a bot for $100, this is a bot for $1,000, and the rest of them. Now, the improvements that we're doing on that is that we do notice that we don't want our traders or our leaders to have multiple bots because they want to cover up for every capital amount, $100, $200, $1,000, $10,000, and the rest of them. So one of the things you're going to be seeing different, which you should really be excited about for the copy trading, if you go to the mirror trading in Tafabot, is that you'll be able to create your mirror for your capital. So take, for instance, that you're setting up a mirror. Over here, you can find several mirrors that are open for copy. So if you want to create your mirror and say, I want a mirror for my bot that is currently trading on $1,000, you don't need to break that bot. Okay, I'm just going to shut down the Tafabot app on the PC. Is quite making it lag. So we could show that on the mobile device itself. So if you go over to the mirror and you say, I want to create a mirror bot, and I have a Tafabot running that is running for $1,000, for example, Right now, you need to break your mirrors down into a mirror for $100, $200. So one of the things we want to change about that is you can have that mirror that you're giving out that is trading for you for $1,000, and anybody can copy that mirror regardless of what amount they're using. So for instance, if a guy with $100 is going to see that mirror and he's going to click copy, what we're going to do is we're going to sort out his configuration based on your configuration for his capital. So you will not need to have so many multiple bots like you currently do. So we're looking for that to be out at the end of this month. Hopefully you're going to see that in the new application. So it's going to make copy easy for you. Now, one of our goals is to ensure that a lot of you joining into this live course should be a lot of leaders or people who own their community. So we want to ensure that you're not just putting in any kind of configuration into your mirror trading. I can see a lot of comments of a lot of you guys really excited about that. So you're not just putting any kind of configuration on your mirror trading. We want to make sure you're putting in the best configuration, which means when you join in on the setup, the live setup, and we give all of the setup like we did over here, when we give all of those setup, you'll be able to just go right into your own app, enter those setup, and people who are copying you will be able to replicate that setup on any of their capital without you recreating capital. Now that is number one. Now something else that we are also changing, if you do notice a little bit of lag, I'm really surprised about that. There is a little bit of lag today. So another thing that we're also changing that is quite beneficial, is quite beneficial, is the exchange. For instance, if you are following a mirror right now, or you own a mirror, one of the things you also do is you need to create a mirror for Binance, and you also need to create a mirror for KuCoin. You need to create a mirror for Wobi, because you have people on Wobi who is copying you, or people on Binance who is copying you. Now, what we're doing about that is you just need to have your mirror for your exchange. So if you're trading on Binance, that's all. Just have your bots trading on Binance. Anyone from any other exchange, Binance, Wobi, KuCoin, whatever, can directly copy your mirror without you having to create an extra bot for those exchange. So we're totally simplifying that. So in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see that in the new app to make mirror totally better. Because we do know that not everybody want to join the live call. We have a whole lot of active users who take this trade, but less than even 2% of them join in on the call because they're probably busy and they watch it later, or they just wait for the alerts in the setup group and just take the alert. But if you're on this call, I believe you're more of a trader, or you're a leader who wants to understand where the market is going, what is the rationale to our decision. So you don't just want to take the setup, but you want to understand why we're taking the setup and what are the reasons and the rationale behind those setup. So when you come here and get those rationales, you can directly impute it into your setup, and your community members that don't want to be on the setup, live setup, can just directly copy you with the same system. So that is the next thing that we're totally improving. And in the next couple of weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, you're going to be having that in your Tafabot app. Let me know if that is exciting. You want to send it into the chat if that is really exciting for you. So a lot of you will be able to own your mirror, create your mini groups, your mini communities, and people just copy the setup we do over here from you, and they don't have to recreate the setup themselves. That is totally something really amazing. Now, the next thing that we're also changing, which I'm going to show you a little bit of it. I can see a lot of users are really excited. The next thing we're also changing is the leverage system of how you handle your leverage is one thing we're also changing. So what does that mean? I'm going to show you in our beta version. So there's a beta version right now for it. It's currently not in the live version that you have, but we do have a beta version for it. So I'm just going to show you over here. Part of the perks of just being in the live setup. Amazing. So you can see over here in the beta version, this part we're hoping to get it out as fast as possible, possibly by this week, maybe in a day or 2 days time, you're going to see this new updated Martingale structure available for everyone. Now, what is the difference? Now, we do notice that as much as the setups are totally amazing, like all of the guys who took the setup for yesterday or days before, they're totally amazing. Like I myself, all my trades close them profit. I still do have Lena open. It's still the trade I spending. But the major trade killer is leverage for a lot of traders. The setups are amazing, but leverage is a major trade killer. So we also want to solve that. Now, I did post something about that, that every new market downtime shows us a Tafabot what we want to improve to make trading better for our users. So we want to make that better for you. So you're going to be seeing a new function over here called auto deleverage. So auto deleverage, you're going to be finding it. We're possibly going to get this out first on the web calculator, which you can find over here, maybe by tomorrow or the next day. And then you're going to find that inside your Tafabot app when creating your setup. So what does auto deleveraging do? The trouble, like I said, for a lot of traders is the leverage. So you're so over leveraged that the setup does not have the space to breathe, and then you probably hit stop loss or you're caught out. So with auto deleveraging, if you're creating your setup, say I want to make a setup for $5,000 and this setup is covering 30%, 30 movements, it's covering average 3. I'm using the leverage 5. Like I did an analogy last time over here in trade comparison to show that the guy who is not leveraged is almost making the same amount as the guy that is leveraged. And I gave this example over here that there are just few scenarios where the guy who is leveraged makes more money. But when the trade goes bad, the guy who is leveraged takes the biggest loss. So I did this trade comparison in our last call. So what they want to do is to simplify this to allow you also use the leverage, but provide you something to sort out when the market goes bad. So that is the new function you're going to be seeing here as auto deleveraging. So what this means is if I decide to go 5S to trade a coin and it gives me my setup to go ahead with the coin, that's totally fine. I can go on my 5S, but if I do select auto deleverage as an option in my setup, what this will do is if my setup starts going bad, like the last market, what we did see with the last market, if my setup starts going bad, is going to deleverage me from the 5S that I am into the lowest possible leverage over the next entire trade. So that means is you're able to take up the whole leverage you want to do, make the profit of taking up leverage. But if the market tries to go against you, it's going to deleverage you out of your leverage and put you on a neutral trade. So if the market should go against you with 50% because you're on leverage, that would not longer happen. You would just be maybe 1-2% away from the market because you're totally deleveraging and your loss is no longer multiplied by your leverage. So that is something pretty cool. If you're excited about that, you also want to send that into the chat. Let's know that we're really changing the game for our Tafa community. So this is really going to be amazing. If you want to go for your 5S leverage, you'll be able to do that, make the profit from leverage. If the market tries going bad, automatically Tafabot is going to deleverage you out of that position so you don't take the loss like you do when you are super leveraged. So you're going to expect this right now on the Tafabot calculator by tomorrow or the day after, and you're going to find it inside the new app. entirely when you're creating your setup. I see a lot of messages. This is amazing, totally explosive. We're super glad about that. But there's something new we do want to do is, as much as we're going to be waiting for this in the new app to come in to allow you to use it, part of the perks of being in the live setup is that we want to give you pre-access. We want you to have pre-access into deleveraging. So if you do care to have a pre-access, means from tomorrow, any trade that you're setting up is going to be using the deleveraging function, as against waiting for when the new app is out. If you do want to have that access, you just want to send a tiny bit of message to this email, which I'm posting right into the chart. You just want to send a tiny bit of message to say auto deleverage to futures@tafabot.com. So when you do that, I just posted the email futures@tafabot.com into the chat. When you do that, the technical team is going to assign your account to an auto deleveraging account. So you start using the future, start making the benefit of an auto deleveraging before the function is even out for every other user. All right, so I did post the email right now into the chat. You want to pick that up, futures@tafabot.com. If you want to use the auto deleverage before it is out in the new app, just send an email. I want to opt in for auto deleverage, and that will be it. State your Tafabot email and username, and your account will be assigned to auto deleverage. I see a lot of you already sending the emails here. Please don't send it here. Just email futures@tafabot.com with your Tafabot username. Say, hey, I want to sign up for auto deleverage, and that will be automatically done for you. So when you see the new app, you'll be able to directly manage your auto deleverage on or off while you enjoy the benefit right away. So that's something to be really excited about that will also be coming up. Someone said, I do have a question. Can I use 20S with auto deleveraging? What if the market really is against me? Yes, you can use 20S with auto deleveraging, but then that also will affect the amount of capital you can put into the trade. So let's say you're doing $100. I will still go into that. Let's say you're doing $100 and your setup also covers up for $100. If you do go 20S, by the time you're auto deleveraging, you might need a little bit more capital, but you're going to see that when that is launched into the calculator on how that works. So don't worry about that. Yes, you can go leveraging, but you still don't want to be over leveraged. 20S or 100S, it really is not a good option, but you can go your leverage. Okay, I see a lot of message. Some is still asking what is auto deleveraging about. I guess you're just joining in. I'll just give a wrap on that once more. And I did say with the auto deleverage function, if you are on leverage and the market is going against you, the auto deleveraging function is going to set your account to market neutral out of the leverage. So you're not in the loss that you would have incurred if you were on that leverage on the trade. Okay, so that's it. I did say about totally 3 different stuff: the mirror trading, the new updates coming up, the exchange futures, the auto deleveraging. Those are things to look out for. Okay, now we're going to look at what is happening with our other trades and what do we do. Before I move into that, we're going to start the whole system of the retraders free results by tomorrow. So what this means is I'm going to have a one-on-one section with one user, which we're going to pick randomly from the chat, who is going to tell us about his Tafa experience, ask you a few questions, and you share with the whole community how the setup has changed the whole deal for you. We want to make sure that we're getting in those testimonies to help the new users that are coming up to make profits like you. Now, there are perks to doing that when we're going to kickstart that. There are perks to doing it. Number one is we're going to put that on our social media and my personal social media also to say this is a trader that we are proud of. He has been able to follow the setup to the latter, and he's a profitable trader. Now, when we do that, we're going to add your referral link to that, your referral code. And when we do post that for the next 24 hours, anyone signing up with your referral code is going to get a 20% discount on his license. So for the next 24 hours, if we did post you as a retrader results on the social media, your license code has a 20% discount for the next 24 hours. So anyone who picks your license to subscribe gets an automatic 20% discount on that. All right, so let's jump into what the market is doing. We did say that we were expecting a major bounce from the market last time, and that did break down to about 19,600 from our support range of BTC, hitting about 20,300. Now that did break into 19,000, and we were still looking out for that bounce. And finally, we did get that bounce around here while we're breaking into the 19,500. We did get that super bounce. And like I said, this is a bounce that you don't want to be short on. And I was screaming about this the past couple of days that you don't want to be on short when that bounce happens. It's not going to give you a space to get out. So we can see that over here, that in the last 24 hours, over $252 million liquidated in a lot of short position. So you see a whole lot of short position cleared out of the market for people who were still short despite that. So I'm glad that we were in short. For those who were long and did hit a stop loss, all you did was hit a stop loss. While others took the super amazing profit yesterday. If you are in the group, in the chat group, you see a whole lot of response. Why others are still on further trade, which we are going to review. So the market has had the bounce that we've been waiting for. And if we go over to several liquidation level from high block capital, which we do use, and we're going to see a whole lot of stuff that has happened. Where is the next liquidation level going to be? I did say that the market really love to hunt for liquidation. You serve as fuel for the market. So we try to look at where a lot of people's potential liquidation level. That also affects how we plan our trade. So these are a lot of liquidation already happening. We can see right over from this point, a whole lot of long position are sitting in the market. You're seeing a $41 million long position. So right from this point of the market of 19K to around year of about 21,700 is filled up with maximum long position. You see 92 million long, a whole lot of long positions are sitting there. So that is a good thing that we're finding a lot of support in the market. People are deciding to buy in into the market. Now, as we start crossing over 22,600 over here, we start seeing a whole lot of short position clicking there. So we have at 22,700, a whole lot of short position. You see 100 million, 50 million short positions are piling over here up to the point of 23,300. So what do we expect from the market? The market has cleared up the long position earlier when it did the dump. It's also going to try to clear up as much short position as possible to serve as liquidity before the market now makes a market neutral to determine where should it actually go. So we're looking at the market doing a possible height up to 23,300, clear out a lot of short position that are on over 20 years and above to serve as liquidity for the market to actually balance out. So you really do not want to engage in any short also at this point You don't want to touch any short position at all in the market. Now, you would notice at every point the market has tried going a little bit down, it just bounced right off, because there are too many supports, long position holding the market. So you don't want to engage in shorts totally. Now, if we do go back to BTC, once that happens around this level over here, we could see a little bit a downturn of BTC, taking a bit downturn if it does exceed or go up to that level. Now, for several of us who are still on trades like Lena, I don't think anyone is still on Zem, but I believe a few persons are still on Lena, maybe one or two. I'm one of those. The Lena take profit is still at this point, and Lena did try approaching that, but still back down. So we're still holding that, trusting it goes above this point. Now, one of the things you want to do for positions like Lena is that if you do have more capital because you've taken profit from every other position, you can extend your entry to take in more position into Lena, bringing your average entry down so that you don't need to wait for Lena to move up to this point, but it should move up to this point. It has tried doing that before it went down. But what we're trusting at is that BTC keep breaking above that 23,300 and Lena achieves that before BTC hits that cap. If not, then Lena will be one trade that we possibly want to hit a stop loss on if you're still on that trade. If you're still on that trade, you're possibly on about 10 or 20% stop based on a 5S leverage. If you're on a lower leverage, then you're way, way lower. So that is a good thing. Then this might be one trade we might hit a stop loss on. If it doesn't achieve this point, which I'm going to be updating you about, if BTC does approach the 23,000 level and Lena doesn't respond yet. Then I believe there are no traders on Zem. That is already done. I'm glad about that. Zem has reclaimed back its position. Then I do. Someone is saying, I haven't done Lena. Do you advise I jump on it? No, you don't want to jump. I did say that is one trade we might cut off if it doesn't receive the bounce from Bitcoin. It's quite slow right now. Then we have EOS over here. Now, 90% of users already did close profit on EOS, a whooping 20% profit of your whole capital. That is a beautiful thing. Now, for those who are still, I reckon there are few users who are still there, and your take profit is around this point from a few users that I did see their setup. Your take profit is around this point, which is a 6% movement from the current price of EOS. Now, that is a very possible easy price movement. So we're just looking for a 6% market movement from the current price to totally close in profits. Now, I did say that you want to set your strategy periods to 1, your take profits to 1, to make sure that once it takes profit, it never gets back into the trade again. So that is it about EOS. I'm totally out of EOS. I did take profit, and a lot of users. If you're still there, you're 6% away from the market, and that has a large potential of happening in the next 24 hours. And you're done with EOS trade. And same with Zem, I did talk about that. Then lastly, a few persons on Wi-Fi. I really do not believe any other person should be on Wi-Fi. Please, if you're still on Wi-Fi, could you indicate? I really would like to know your average entry. A lot of users' entry was at this point, which Wi-Fi has already capped it. Please, you want to state your average entry, Ernest, if you're still on Wi-Fi, in the chart, so we could have a clearer picture of that. Wi-Fi has really hit the whole box that we expected it to hit, and we've done over 20% profits also on Wi-Fi. So if there are 1 or 2 users that are still there, I really want to know what your average entry is. It will really guide to know what you want to do with Wi-Fi. But potentially, Wi-Fi has hit the limit for take profits that we should be expecting. Someone said, I'm still on Wi-Fi. My average price is 833. I don't know why you should still be on Wi-Fi. Please look at this. Wi-Fi went way above 87. So if your average is 833, you should already have taken profit from Wi-Fi, except you updated your take profit to something way, way higher. So you want to look at your take profit right away. You want to update it to 1, and your Wi-Fi should be closing in profit right away. So it did go above. If your take profit wasn't too high, okay, your take profit is 5. That is why. I'm just going to draw that here. So that is why your Wi-Fi has not closed. You're looking for a 5% take profit in a 5S, meaning you're looking for over 25% take profit. So if your Wi-Fi is at this level, you are just 1% away from Wi-Fi. Please update your take profits to 1, and in the next 1% price movement, your Wi-Fi is going to be closing in profit. If it was lesser than 5, you should have already closed profits right over here at when Wi-Fi did a 4% movement. You were just 1% away. So please update to 1 so it does close in profit right away. I really want every user in a trade to totally close in profit. We can start the trade on a fully fresh note using the whole auto deleveraging function, so you're never stuck in a setup ever again. Okay, a lot of users keep asking, what should I do with EOS? I just explained EOS, I explained Lena. If you didn't catch that, you probably want to rewatch this video after now on what you should do with EOS. To have a little recap, I said your EOS is just 6% away. For any user who is still on the trade, you're 6% away, which has a large potential of executing today. But I did say if BTC does approach the 23,300 and every of these markets does not hit the take profit, we want to cut it out because BTC might be doing a downturn from that point. All right. For this user, Solomon, I'm not sure I really don't understand what you mean, that it is in $52 PNL, it has gone in. You could just state your average price. That will help us to really determine what you need to do. So back to Wi-Fi, if you're in any of this trade, please update, just like I've said, your take profit to 1%, and your bot should be closing in profit. So I want to believe by end of today, we are all closed in profit. For users who are on Zem or Lena like myself, and I did say if Lena doesn't recover this position by time BTC is hitting 23,000, we're going to call Lena off and we're going to hit a stop loss on that. It is better off than holding the Lena trade. It is quite super slow. Now, another trade that did give us a really good profit was BNB. That has really done good. BNB has also achieved all the goals that we expected for it. So you don't want to be in a BNB trade again. Now, what I do expect is that no trader should take in a new trade for today if you're still in any trade, or if you're not in any trade without subscribing for the auto deleveraging function. So if you want to apply for that today, you want to apply for it. So by tomorrow, before our setup, it is already activated for your account and your bot starts using the auto deleveraging, so that if we do take a setup and BTC does hit the 23K and decides to decline, you will never be affected like you were in the last market downturn. So I would advise, there are 2 reasons why I would advise you don't want to take a new setup for today. Number 1 is we're going to be really clear about inflation rates by tomorrow, 14th. We're going to have a clearer picture of what inflation or interest rate is going to be looking at, is going to be looking like for this month. So we're going to have a clearer picture by tomorrow, which has a lot to affect the market. So we want to wait to see what that data is projected to be. So it gives us a better clarity of what to do with the market, number 1. And number 2, also, I really do want every trader to move to auto deleveraging function. So even if the market takes a downturn, you're never stuck. Okay. And another user say is EOS is at 0.06. If we go back to EOS, you're looking at 0.06. You're 3% away from your take profit of EOS. That is something really, really tiny. That is something really, really tiny. So there's nothing you want to do about that. You just want to let that run. This user asking, should you continue with BTC setup? Like I did say, 100%, I really do not expect anyone to take a new setup today. If you're still on a setup, let all your old setup clear out. If you want to take a setup, I really do not advise you take a setup today. Do apply for auto deleveraging, number one. Number two, we're going to have a clearer picture about inflation projected rates and interest rates by tomorrow, and that could affect the market. If it is positive, we're going to keep pumping up. If it is negative, then we will expect that dump again to happen. So we want to look towards that, and you probably want to hold on for that. Now, one of the rule of a very great trader is you don't overtrade. One of the best trades sometimes is no trade. There are days you really don't want to take a setup. You just want to sit out and see what the market does. Now, someone did ask a question, how is Neuronet performing? Now, Neuronet did take a 3% profit yesterday. We did talk about that. Now, the goal is most time Neuronet takes about 1 to 2 trades in a week. It tries to achieve between 1 to 5%. So at the end of the month, you have between 10 to 30%. So if you did set up a Neuronet, you just want to allow that run. It's going to deliver its profits to you. And it's like the lowest level of risk bot that we have on Tafabot. And of course, the profit potential is 10 to 30%. So if you have made 10% already, you might notice your Neuronet is much more slower in taking trade because it wants to secure the profit it has made than trying to make new profits for that month. Once again, I want to drop the email. If you want to apply for auto deleveraging, you want to send to futures@tafabot.com. I did post it once again into the chat box. If you want to apply for that, and really take my advice, do not take a new setup, do apply for auto deleveraging, and do wait to see what the interest projected rate is going to be by tomorrow, and that will give us a better setup. We really don't want to dive into the charts to create more setup, and the market has a wrong news for interest rate, and your setup fails while you are not on auto deleveraging. All right. So guys, that is really going to be it for today. Like I said, I could give you a lot of setup, but I really do not want us to take any setup until we have auto deleveraging and we are totally clear on interest rate for this month by tomorrow. Then that gives us a better view on what to do. So someone said, for those of us who only trade spots due to restrictions on our country where we reside, how can we maximize our profits? That is a really good question. Now, when we give setup, we do give setup for both spot and futures. And I did an analysis over here last time. I'm going to open that again, that either you're trading spots or you're trading futures, your profit ratio are a little bit the same. Now, there are times that futures gives you more, but in a general sense, when using Martingale strategy, as it relates to the first entry, you almost get the same thing. So yes, you're still going to have a maximum level of profit as far as you're taking all the setup. So that is not a reason to be leveraged. But if you want to be leveraged, then you want to be leveraged using the auto deleveraging function, which is almost going to treat your account with leverage and at the same time secures your account if the market goes bad. So that will be a safer way to trade futures markets for you. Amazing. I'm just going to go through a few questions and we're going to call it a day. Like I said, not taking a trade sometimes is the best trade to do. We've already enjoyed the benefit of the market pumping, and we want to have more clarity of what the market is going to do, which will be determined between now and the next 24 hours by the time we're having our setup by tomorrow, we have better clarity as to where our setup should be heading. Someone said, please, sir, should I increase my EOS period? Yes, you can do that. If you want more entries into the market, you can increase the number of entry to give you more entries into the market. Someone said, please, will I receive a confirmation email? How do I know my account has been activated for deleveraging function? Yes, you're going to receive an email telling you your account has been activated for deleveraging if you applied for that. That is amazing. That is amazing. Someone said, my neural nets reduced the capital of my downline. What can I do? You want to ask your downline, did your neural net take a trade between the last 3 days? Did it make profit? If it did not, you want to send support to look into your neural net. Your neural net must have made over 3% profit within the last 3 days. So if it did not, you want to send support. Please look into my neural nets to make sure it is functioning properly. All right, Stefan. So that is going to be it. You want to spread the news about all the new stuff that is going to be coming up, and you want to be prepared for it. Remember, tomorrow, if you want to be among the first person I get to talk with on ReTradeS results, you want to opt into the chat. You want to join early, and you want to say, please count me into the live session for real traders. Tricia, you're asking, your take profit for EOS should be 1%. For every of the setup should be 1%. The goal is to take a profit and shut down the bot so we can have fresh and new setup into the market. All right, Stephans, let's go straight into the chat room and we can continue there. We now have clarity what the market is doing. By tomorrow, we're going to have full setup based on the market direction. Cheers, guys.